suggest that it is either an error or new information came in. I'm not clear what it is. So was it just a placeholder last week?
I'm advised by the FS that the details just was not available at the time of preparation of the document.
Okay, so you used the best figure that you had at the time.
Used it, right, and again, the amount that's set aside for Melissa contingency was the account out.
No, I'm clear on the set aside, Minister. What I wasn't clear on is the significant difference that would have, which I welcome, because 1 million per school was way inadequate.
No, that was just for cleanup.
15,007, Minister. I want to direct you there. On page 4 on the revised, the amendment. Last week at PAAC, we had asked for an explanation on the 848,400,000, which the supplementary budget said was additional requirement for the Constituency Development Fund. And we were unable to place it in terms of information. 47,400 of that have been moved to the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation.
I'm advised that the 747 million for the special end of year constituency based disaster mitigation was placed in head 1500, which is the office, 15,000, which is the office of the Prime Minister, but it was inadvertently allocated there. So it has been transferred since then to head 1900, which is the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, to be utilized by the NWA as follows: National Cleanup and Resilience Building Program 630, and targeted responses to urgent and emerging needs 220 million.
Which leaves a balance of $101 million. Can you indicate what that represents and whether it's still under the classification of additional requirement for the Constituency Development Fund?
So, remember, instead of 747, it's now 850.
Well, what I'm seeing, Minister, on page 4 of your revised document, I'm seeing 747, which was revised from OPM. So I'm trying to get an understanding of the remainder.
Remember, we'd have to get an explanation for that 101 million from the office of the Prime Minister.
Thank you, Minister. In your presentation last week, you said already our international partners have indicated that within that package that's announced, there's about 4.
No.
is allow for a loan of 150 million to be repaid back to us so we get back the liquidity. Minister, would you agree that just based on the questions asked earlier and the answers that you have given, that that statement is premature and the loan is at now speculative at best?
What do you mean by speculative?
Meaning the loan is not there. It depends on JPS and the multilaterals working out an agreement for that loan to become available.
We've given or undertaken to JPS.
No, Minister, I'm speaking specifically to, I quoted you from the Hansard, where you said that the 450 million, what that will do is allow for our loan of 150 million to be repaid back to us. I'm asking if that was accurate or if you would accept that that was a premature statement.
It was a statement
Stick up!
We believe will happen because
we wish along with you, Minister. Thanks.
What? I'm sorry?
We wish along with you.
I never said we believe will happen.
The liar, mash him up! Tell her! Share up the live.
So, member, you have no idea.
Well done, Omar. Well done, Omar Newell. I'll know the minister don't know where to go.
Member, let me say, member. Member, just let me say, since the announcement of this 150 million US dollar loan to JPS, you would have heard the minister talk about what it will do in terms of just ensuring that we have electricity island-wide over the next 2 months, which is significant. Otherwise, persons without would have to wait for a much longer period of time. And I just want to say to you that there are so many persons who called me to say how very proud they are of the government and the ability of the government to be able to extend US $150 million to our electricity company. I can't think of another time, another government, certainly not on your side, that would have been able to do this.
Why?
Member from Eastern Westmoreland.
What a mashup.
Chairman Mac.
Yeah. Minister, just to follow up on that, despite the fanfare that is going on. Minister, if if JPS is requiring $450 million so that the good people of Eastern Westmoreland and elsewhere can receive electricity, and currently from what we are aware of thus far, the government is willing to lend 150 out of the amount. Yes? Of the 450, the government is willing to lend 450, government is willing to lend 150. Well, 350, whichever figure it is, say 350, the government is willing to lend 150. But they require 350 so that all the persons that are currently affected can get back light. What is the sum that is required by GPS to restore electricity to all of the persons who are currently affected?
So the Minister of Energy has just indicated 150 million US dollars.
So that means that the $350 million is to restore and
Those are details that we don't have. JPS would be the entity that would answer those questions as to the details of any loan that they take on.
But I'm not sure, Minister, that that is what we were presented with in this house. We were told that JPS required $350 million and that the government would be loaning $150 million. That is what we were told. Has that number been revised?
So the minister has indicated US 150 to restore by the end of January 2026.
So who's lying somewhere? Somebody not telling the truth. Somebody not telling the truth. You can I say who's lying? I ask the question. You can decide whatever the answer is.
Minister, this is not as easy as just a soapbox moment. This is not a political soapbox moment to just say 150 and get back light. It's not. What we're talking about here is also the finances of the country. So I'm saying I need to know when JPS did their estimates, their assessment as to the damage from the devastating Category 5 hurricane, what is it that is required to restore electricity to all of the persons that were affected? That's what I need to know, because previously we were all of the impression that that was 350 million. Then we heard it being revised upwards to about 400 million. And now we are told that only 150 million is required to restore electricity to all affected persons.
All right, so member, please put your questions to the Minister of Energy in the order, the parliamentary order, and he will respond at that time.
Chair, just to follow up on that, it is an important question, because if 350 million is the figure that is required, and they have received 150, it would leave a shortfall of 200. Now, if JPS is currently in a predicament where the license that they have to operate, they currently have no guarantee beyond another 2 years, and their entire revenue that they will earn over those 2 years is less than the 200 million, then it would mean that some further assessment would need to be done prior to making a loan of 150 million US. It makes a whole heap of sense. Yes, they want light. Yes, they do. And that's why we need to know how much to give them light.
Member,
we need to know how much to give them the light that they need.
Member, hold on, member. The JPS is not a government entity. It is not a ministry agency or department of government. Hold on.
I'm holding.
And so, member, while you can ask questions as it relates to what is in the budget and the supplementary estimate, to ask how a business plans to be able to finance and execute.
I wasn't asking that.
The remainder of the money needed to restore us.
No.
To restore us of the Minister of Finance would not be appropriate at this place. At this stage.
Madam Chair, you are accusing me of something that I did not do or I did not say. Hold on. My concern is that my government, yes, is lending from taxpayers' money 150 million US to JPS. I need to know, right, if that is a wise financial transaction that my government is undertaking. I have a right to know that. The answer to that question is not just that the people want light. The answer to that question is not just that the people want light. Right? No. If it is that they require 350 and their license only has 2 more years on it, then any prudent individual is going to think twice before they lend them the money because they have no guarantee to continue operating beyond 2 years.
All right, member,
So
hold
on
on a
what
moment.
basis
Member,
did the finance ministry take a decision to lend the 150 million?
member, hold on a minute, please.
So,
So
madam,
member,
madam,
put those
madam,
questions on the same.
Members, please
Please.
allow Member Green to
I
speak.
implore
He's
you,
on
member.
Finance Minister a moment.
yeah, Madam Speaker, just to say, Chair, this matter was raised in the House and was fully ventilated. Madam Chair, the Minister.
I think this matter is very important.
Statement on this matter. The questions were asked. I made this point to make.
Yes, so I was saying that we believe that this matter is very, very important, and hence we want to stick with it for a little bit. Welcome to Portland Spice TV.
Asked about loan and have been answered. The other questions would have to be directed to the Minister of Energy, right? Would have to be questions in relation to would have to be directed to the Minister of Energy. And I will repeat, a lot of the information that is now being shared is information that was shared by the Minister of Energy in his statement. And it's information that questions, the same questions were asked. Same questions.
They're running away, they're trying to avoid these questions. But the question needs to be asked. If JPS is going to get $450 million, as the government made a decision to extend JPS license, that is the question, you know.
I thank you very much, Madam Chairman. This matter is a matter for the Ministry of Finance, especially because the Minister had promised further details, because when the presentation was done by the Minister of Energy, we did not have the details. And it is quite rightly put, because it is going to be in this budget a provision for 24, 23 billion Jamaican dollars that the Ministry of Finance is lending to a body corporate on the basis that that would be some part payment for the complete sum that is to come somehow for the restoration. So if the Minister of Finance is going down the road to lend this money, the Ministry of Finance ought to be able
to answer all the questions about the money.
That the full money for restoration will come, or else it is just your loan down the wicket. And I think it's appropriate. Right. So unless Minister,
you don't know.
Unless Minister, you are going to resign from the 350, which I don't know how you can credibly do that when we were told that it's 350. So the question to you, Minister, is: are you satisfied that it is only 150 million US that is needed to restore all
don't make sure get
electricity, especially from the members' constituency of East, Westerland, and so on? If there is more needed, is the minister satisfied that that more will be coming, and from whom? Because, Minister, the direct question to you is whether or not the government of Jamaica will be footing the entire bill of 350. And that's a question. No, it is a fair question.
What? I mean, if it's not, what? Oh, that could not be a fair question.
Is it?
Tala. This is a Tala moment. Yes, bad mind. Come in, bad mind.
Um, Minister of Finance.
She need to answer.
Members will have to be
So
quiet
members,
to allow the Minister of Finance to.
I'm going to.
We will have to be quiet to allow the Minister. We will need. Members, could you allow the Minister of Finance to
Minister of
respond?
Finance, a sweat. Date not take him on. Date not take on Vaz. Tell him. Vaz and date not it in the parliament. Aye. One Vaz broken, next one so much up. Yes, sir.
Timmy. Members, remember the others of us would like to continue our meeting.
Madam Chair.
Members, yes. I think the Minister of Finance was
So,
trying.
the Minister of Finance would love to respond.
Madam Chair.
If we would allow the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Finance would like to respond. Members, would you be so kind as to allow her to speak? Member Campbell, Member Vaz, before that.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Many questions that the members have, the details of which I am not able to give at this moment. As you said earlier on, JPS is a private entity, and
Yeah.
I would implore members to come with their questions, to ask those questions of the Minister of Energy at another parliament when he's able to answer in great detail all of those questions. What I can say is that the request that was made of us at the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service was for a loan of 150 million US dollars. And you would have heard the Minister of Energy say that that is for restoration by the end, restoration minister, by the end of January 2026.
Wow.
90% by the end of December 2025.
Who is on the floor?
Yes, we do have some additional questions, members. Please just get back to the sitting. Member Hilton, you're first, then Buchanan, you're next.
Minister, considering that the Minister of Industry is not here today,
And following on the question I posed earlier, there are two questions I want to have answered. On page 53003, page
So
5300,
we're going to take it back after Isaac.
the MSME support and development, that's what it's titled. Madam Speaker, I see that the additional sum of 60 million is being voted on today. The approved estimate is almost $1 billion. When I read the narrative, it speaks to salaries and allowances of employees. I'm wondering how much of this almost $1 billion is actually for the development, support and development to the MSME, other than the administrative personnel, 5303, the P3, 5300 P3. How much of that is for the MSME sector to do the operational aspects of them and provide for the MSME?
A member, I don't have that allocation, that detail right now. I would have to ask the Minister of Industry that question.
And could you, while as you ask, $1 billion that the Development Bank announced is a part of the overall package addressing the needs for the MSME sector.
Are you proud of
And
this?
in what sense is that, if that can be detailed in the response? My next question. Okay. My next question is on page 5, 5300 page 5. The Special Economic Zone Administration. Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, and to you, Minister, I see nearly $1 billion, in excess of $1 billion allocated for the SEZ, the Special Economic Zone. In the breakdown, I'm seeing that 197 million, almost 200 million of that is for fixed asset and capital goods. When was could you explain, Madam Speaker, Madam Minister, the allocation of nearly 300 million, 250, 229 million additional, and what is that additional sum for that was not in the first supplementary or the budget itself, the previous budgetary allocation? What is that amount for?
Member, that's a good question, but my technical persons do not have the details of that. So this is another of those questions that I believe would be appropriately placed to the Minister of Industry.
Okay. All right, I'll catch you down the road. All right. Okay.
Member Buchanan?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Minister, I'm just asking for your undivided attention because I know there's a lot of distractions. This question is one where I just need to know if you satisfied yourself in relation to the loan as to whether or not any extension of the license to acquire this said loan of 450 million to JPS was a consideration for you? Did you satisfy yourself before awarding the loan whether or not there was an extension, and as well as that whether that extension allowed JPS to possibly acquire the additional sums?
See it there? See it here? I hit that. I hit that. I tell you no. See question asked there. See it there? Come in, Minister. Darrell, come out of the house. Because Darrell didn't dare try to divert some question. Trouble.
So, member, what we concern ourselves with is the 150 that is needed for restoration. But just to say that the electric, the 150 was not linked to any decision.
Never asked about 150. We asked about 450. We never asked about 150.
Sure that there's accelerated
Never asked about 150.
recovery of electricity across the island.
All right, thank you for that. Minister, I know that you are well aware that this house is a house of record. Now, for clarity, several things were said about what the $150 million would do. Today, I heard that it would restore, the 150 would be, I'm not going to say like after like. I'm not asking that, please. It would certainly restore energy by February, but end of January, in the middle of February, end of January. Let me extend it that far. But however, that does not count for the remaining sums. So you have said that you have granted a loan simply for the restoration, but to what quantity? To what amount?
Well, you heard the Minister of Energy just recently.
No, look, she look for him.
Madam Minister, this is a
watch her face. Look at her face.
Made no statement on any mic or anything that was recorded.
Okay, so
stick him up, counsel.
What I heard the minister said, and that he said it several times in Parliament and outside of Parliament, that the 150 million is dedicated towards restoration of electricity across the island by
she look for the bully. The bully come out and left her alone in her pen.
Right, by January 2026.
All right, but Madam Minister, Madam Minister, the question is about whether you satisfied yourself. So I'm asking because when the minister spoke in this parliament, he indicated that the 150 would have been to restore light in general areas as fast as possible. That was what was said. This is a house of record. And I'm challenging anybody to correct me on that because those were the statements that was made. And so the question, the simple question is whether or not you satisfied yourself as to what exactly the 150 million is for, because it is your ministry that has distributed that loan. So that is what is of importance, and I'm asking for a response on that.
And so, member, we did satisfy ourselves. We did satisfy ourselves, just to answer your question.
Thank you for that. My final question. Your projection of 68.2% of your GDP. Can you say what it is? What is the reality of our GDP now? Your assessment for you to make the projection. Yes.
So, our projection for GDP growth.
Not growth. No.
By the time we end this fiscal year,
No, not growth.
that we would see a decline of 4.3% by the end of this fiscal year.
Well,
Madam Minister, I didn't get the benefit of your answer. Not so. No, I didn't hear. Thank you, madam.
Are you comfortable?
I didn't get the benefit of the answer because the mic is quite low.
Oh, that's
what my
Minister,
difficulty was.
Member Buchanan is asking you to please repeat because the mic is not functioning so well. It's very low, and he didn't hear your response.
Thank you, Chair.
So can I ask the member to repeat the question?
She asked you to repeat. No, Madam Minister, I simply asked, what is the reality of our GDP now, post Melissa? Not I know what the projection is, but what it is, what is it now based on your estimate?
based on your
The
calculation.
number that we have for GDP would be as of the end of the third quarter. All right.
So you not have no GDP after Melissa?
Well, as of the end of September, that's the only number that we have.
Minister, I get member Buchanan to be asking if our projection is 68%.
No.
Our last actual information, what is that percentage based on what was actual?
No.
Thank you, madam.
So our last debt to GDP figure would have been the debt to GDP at the end of fiscal year 2024-25, and that was 62%.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
Thank you, Minister. Madam Chair, thank you.
Let's leave them.
No, before page.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Me want to know if we are all proud of what we just listened to. And I figure this might be interesting, you know. This is DAS. This is DAS.
Let us put it in perspective. This is $24 billion. Sorry, 150 million US. 24 billion Jamaican dollars. He said that the restoration would be done by the end of February?
No, end of January, early February.
As opposed to April, May, June. Now, what is the opportunity cost of bringing restoration of electricity a wait forward by 3 to 4 months, $24 billion to move restoration forward 3 to 4 months. What is the opportunity cost? What are we sacrificing? What are we sacrificing?
All right, so I'm not going to stay with it because we have a lot of things to cover this evening. Whole heap of things to cover this evening. We have Ralston Iman. We're going to talk to Ralston. And the minister skirt around the question. Isaac asked her, what is GDP now? That's the question that Isaac asked. And we can go back and play it back. What is the reality now? He said we know what our GDP was before, Melissa. What is it now? The minister skirt around that. Tell her! Eh? He's out. Producer, behave yourself. Behave thyself. Now, yesterday evening, we took Marlon Morgan to school. And people, he called straight up with Conrad O'Brien today. And make me tell you something. Conrad O'Brien hold Marlon Morgan and choke him. Not physically, hello. Hold on, people, you have to hear this. Hold on, I didn't send it over? Hey. Hold on, it look like I didn't send it over to the machine to play it. It won't take me a minute to send it over. And we're going to take this. Marlon Morgan actually apologize today on Conrad O'Brien show. Let me send it across to the machine so you can hear it. And then after that, we're going straight to Ralston Iman. So, share up the live, everybody. Call some people, because this one crowd. This here piece here, where OB whole Marlon Morgan today and jape him in a short collar and in a pants waist and tip him up on him toe and make him apologize. This one crowd. Crowd people.
Yes, good morning to you, Mr. O'Brien, and good morning to the listeners. Now, I was reached by Colin Bell yesterday, and he gave me a short exchange in terms of an abbreviated form of what transpired in terms of his conversation with you, and it was very evident to me that I had erred in relation to what I thought he said in terms of getting folks into a consolidated space to make it easier for the data collection. So I erred factually and therefore withdraw that observation I made, because what Colin was suggesting is that if you utilize mass labor, in other words, hire a number of people, deploy them into the space, you would undertake rather the needs assessment in a much more expedited fashion.
Absolutely.
They will be so.
And
but what I went on to point out to him in our private conversation is that is easier said than done. Because as you will appreciate, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, they utilize an instrument which is called the Jamaica Household Damage, Impact and Needs.
But before we go there, Marlon, because I want to keep it very, very tight and cordial this morning. I think also that before you move on, you should tender an apology to me, because indeed I tried my utmost to correct you that, listen, nothing of the sort. Colin said nothing of the sort, and you raise your voice to a very high decibel, to even try to drown me out and so on. And while I was saying, so you don't think an apology is in order publicly, Marlon?
I have indicated to you just now, and let me make myself very elusive, that I erred in relation to what I thought Mr. Bell represented in terms of how the thing is to be approached. And I have withdrawn that observation. Now, if you want to grandstand...
No, you withdraw... Marlon, we know that you know better than this. When you withdraw, and therefore I apologize. That's how we do it, Marlon. That's what I'm expecting to hear from Marlon. You have to basically lift the bar, you know. You're a senator and a parliamentary secretary.
Being drunk on power. I'm only focused on one thing, my brother, and that is keeping folk like you. Yes.
So, all right, fine. So the fact that you want to keep folks like me in check, you don't think you owe us an apology and you should just do that and cut and.
I didn't say in check. But anyway, I note your pressure, your attempt to try and deflect, and I'd like an opportunity to go on.
No, man, no. Hold on, Marlon. No. We're not moving. If you can't attend the apology, we're going to end the conversation.
My brother, I indicated to you just now
Marlon,
that I aired to an observation, and I withdrew that observation.
So you need to apologize.
The basis on which I said what I said yesterday was on the basis of which I thought
you came, and you were bombastic and all of that, Marlon. And I believe that you have to basically lift the bar. Please apologize and move on. So apologize and move on, Papa.
Inconvenience to you as the co-host or to Mr. Bell himself, I withdraw and apologize in relation to the inconvenience caused, because we have bigger business to focus on, which is the ministry.
All right. So what else? Hold up, Marlon. I conduct the program. You're not coming here with monologue. Allow me to basically put things to you. You now want to make an additional point. I give you 2 minutes to basically make the point, Marlon, because I've taken some calls in this segment here. Go ahead.
Absolutely, and we appreciate that. That's why we call in like anybody else.
Yes, sir.
So just to be clear, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security has a survey instrument where they not only concern themselves with the damage to people, but also people's anticipated economic losses and displacement. In other words, did you have a shop at the establishment? Were you selling ice cream? And what's the kind of economic dislocation?
Yes, man. So the data will give you all of that, Marlon.
So the point I'm making is that the authorities would have trained people to undertake this kind of work.
Yes.
And not only that, they have geolocators that they use in order to establish and verify people's residence.
Marlon.
And so that's an important
Senator Morgan.
You couldn't just take up people in droves.
Senator Morgan.
So that was Marlon Morgan apologizing. So when the Prime Minister talked about misinformation, but I just want to add something to that. You hear him talk about the data being collected. I am going to break a piece of news right now. Rally's on the line. It was yesterday evening, Monday, the 8th day of December, that the government of Jamaica sent for the tablets at Statin to start the collection of the data. You hear me say? You hear me say, Rally? Yesterday evening, the government, Ministry of Labor, sent for the tablets at Statin. The tablet them what they did use to the census. They sent for them yesterday evening, just yesterday evening, to start collecting the data on people who got damage in Melissa. What can go so?
Okay.
What can go so? Madness. Raleigh, you were watching the Standing Finance Committee.
Still watching it right now.
What is this, Raleigh?
Well, it demonstrates the high level of incompetence that we have in the Ministry of Finance and within the government. Right now, the minister is unable to answer the question as to how much is the full amount of money that the JPS needs to restore electricity to everybody. There's confusion right now. She's saying that the Minister of Energy must answer the question, and he's there. And the people are insisting, even the speaker is insisting that she answer the question.
You know, see, the minister have come out and gone.
Yep.
Because she was looking to the Minister of Energy for some...
To answer the question.
Or some pitbull behavior to divert the attention from her. It is an embarrassment.
The whole thing is an embarrassment. The Ministry of Finance is an embarrassment to the country. Even the speaker has been very upset with them from minute one. Procedural mistakes, they can't answer no question. Everything is preliminary. No, man, this is chaotic, man.
She come with
Jamaica gone
changes
to the
and not
dog.
tell nobody. Julian have said,
Yeah.
but based on the bungalow where you give me, Minister, it look like some significant changes are in it. Could you point them out? Then the page
And
is
then the
not
way the
numbered
changes were
properly.
structured, even the speaker have to get upset and I said this long piece of paper. No, man, this thing is amateurish.
But what the speaker do to her now? You know, see the speaker like the speaker school them.
Yeah, man, of course.
What?
Of course.
Jamaica?
Yeah,
Jamaica. Now, Ralston, Isaac asked her what is GDP. No. Isaac said, what is the reality now? What we know what GDP was before, Melissa. What is it now? She said GDP gone down by 4.5%. That's what she said in her first attempt to answer. Then she tried go around it and talk about debt to GDP. What is all this story with GPS? They can't answer nothing.
No, they can't answer the question. That's why I'm telling you, said this is the most embarrassing thing. In all my 37, 40 years, the weakest Minister of Finance. Not just the Minister, the Financial Secretary.
So,
it's a clown show. Even the Speaker have to be getting upset with them.
It come like she gone past Foggy Mullins, you know?
Yeah, man. Past Foggy Mullins. Past Foggy. Because at least Foggy have people like Shirley Tyndall and all them people are him. Yeah, man.
So the whole
this is embarrassing. The whole team, not just the minister, the entire team. The state minister, the financial secretary. No, man. When you see even the speaker who is on their side getting upset with them, it tells you how poor the thing is, man.
Because it's embarrassing.
Yeah, man. Very embarrassing.
Omar Newell back her up and just fling her out the door and walk when the fire she depend. Come back.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
me have something to tell you. Come. No, this is an embarrassment.
Yeah, man. A monumental embarrassment. When you see the speaker having to get so upset with her from minute one until now, you know it bad.
Brother, yeah, me hear the Prime Minister say, when we talk about the things that will not happen, we are try disgrace the country and we're not patriotic. What is this?
Well, the Minister of Finance is a disgrace.
This is something for us to be proud of?
Even the speaker acknowledges that. No, man, this is a madness, man.
Is this something for us to be proud of, Raleigh?
No. It's a monumental embarrassment. And it's not just the minister, the entire team.
Raleigh.
They can't answer the question. Everything is preliminary. The procedures are wrong. Everything.
So she said the loan them can go from a low of 3% to about 8%, Raleigh. 8%? 8% high.
No, I don't see any multilateral loan at 8%. The maximum you get is 5%.
So you're saying that she chat garbage again?
Yeah, man. She chat garbage again.
Christ.
Yeah, man.
Crawford Presser, give me an idea of what the loan, the interest rate would be like. And she start go out on a tangent till Crawford have to stop her and say, give me a figure.
Yeah, man. She never answer any of those questions either.
Single digit.
Apart from bad mind now, the new word is preliminary. Everything is preliminary. Preliminary.
We say apart from, and not just bad mind now, it's preliminary.
Preliminary, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Joke business, man.
My God. Raleigh, have you punched? Go ahead.
I've never seen it as bad as this before.
Have you crunched any more figures, Raleigh, as it relates to where our GDP really is? Because the minister not telling us. And
as I said, the real economists them in the world, the man them who win Nobel Prize. So if you calculate it the right way, the debt to GDP would be 115%. And what about people like Jeffrey Sachs, Joe Stiglitz, Amartya Sen, all them man, they are reputable economists globally. Yeah, so what am I say? The methodology that we're using is flawed.
Hold on, what methodology the minister is using? Tell us that.
So I use what we call the flow methodology of GDP calculations, which means that all she check is the production losses. She's not subtracting the assets that have been destroyed from GDP.
And you're talking about the asset that we use to do the production.
Precisely. Yeah. So people like Stiglitz, who's a Nobel Prize winner from Columbia University, Jeffrey Sachs, who's an advisor to the UN Secretary General on Economics, Amartya Sen from Oxford, all them man there say it is flawed not to subtract the cost of the physical assets and the environmental degradation from the GDP prior to the disaster, if you get the correct figure.
Yes. So the correct way to do it is that we have lost 8.8 billion US.
Precisely.
Is to minus
so
that
GDP
from
should have been 11.2 billion or 12 billion.
12 billion US coming from 20 billion.
Yeah, we should put the debt to GDP ratio at 115%. And that is what I am going to stick with, because that is what the real economists in the world say it must be.
But them say that too simple.
Oh, well, their method is too simple, because simple, here the man them said, how are you going to ignore the capital that administered? You're checking the flow, but you're not checking the stock, because you can't produce the flow without the capital in it. You have to go replace all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. All of that is gone.
People would have lost raw material.
Yeah.
All of that have to be calculated.
Precisely. So it's a very sloppy and misleading method. In other words, technically, what the man them says, it is a reductionist approach that seeks to minimize the physical, human, and potential losses from the disaster. Well, that's what the big economists in the world have said. So look at very economists in Jamaica. Them things are way above them head.
So when we say the debt to GDP now stands at about 115%, you're not backing down from that?
No, because the man them who control the economics profession, that is what them say, and that is how it must go. And then common sensically, that is how it should be. So tell me now, no, Colin. So you are run a business, right? You lose your fridge and all of your stove them and all of them things there. And then she'll tell you, say, all you lose are the income where you make.
Yeah, because I make, let's say, 100,000 a day. And
yeah.
Me out of
yeah, but what to the fridge and them things where you lose?
She not count that.
No.
And
which
then,
is flawed.
But Ralston, doesn't it get worse? The fact that we are now 5 weeks down the wicket, 6 weeks down the wicket after Melissa, and with the earning that we would have been making over that period of time, isn't that now adding to the loss of GDP?
Yeah, man, that's part of the economic losses.
So how she get 68%? Debt to GDP now at 68%.
Madness, and so when the man answer, she still couldn't answer the question how she arrived at that. The whole thing is a joke, man.
This is madness.
Madness. But the problem, they are dealing with a population that is basically dumb, dormant, and not interested in these things.
That is the problem, Ralston.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Most people no care.
They don't care.
So if we continue,
and that's why they do the things that they do, because they know the people never care.
So if we continue on this trajectory where things are going haywire, people don't even understand what is happening.
No, and they're not trying to understand.
And then they have a set of clowns out there who are defending everything that the government does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not calculating, not thinking rationally.
Mm-hmm. That's a partisan approach.
Raleigh, let's talk what is happening on the market today. How the dollar stay? What is the central bank doing?
The dollar dropped to $161.14 today, from $161.02 yesterday. The Bank of Jamaica will be carrying out its largest mopping up exercise tomorrow. 50 billion will be taken out of circulation tomorrow.
50 billion.
$50 billion. That's 1.4% of GDP.
As the Bank of Jamaica give us a projection of what they plan to take out for the or this is gonna be the last one for the year.
No, man.
You think they're going again?
Yeah, man. No, man.
But
no, man.
Is it a regular thing to be mopping up liquidity in Christmas?
No, what you would see now would be an expansion of the money supply. But because of the disaster caused by Melissa, what they are doing, as the governor in all of those acts are telling you, that his main responsibility is to contain inflation. So they might take the money out of the system rather than pumping that you would see. Normally, would be hearing about expansion of the money supply in the Christmas season. No.
Yes.
This is a different situation. What we are hearing is about taking out money supply out of the system.
So what will that do to Christmas?
You mean the Grinch? The central bank is acting as the Grinch. There will be no Christmas.
Because the more money in circulation is the more things people are going to buy and the more people are going to session, the more things are going to happen. But you're taking out $50 billion 2 weeks before Christmas?
Yeah, man. He says his priority is to contain inflation, which is going to be accelerated because of the disaster. So now, under normal circumstances, we'll be hearing about the expansion of the money supply now in Christmas season. This time, we're hearing about taking out money. And if you notice the ads that he has been running, is about telling you that his responsibility is inflation, so in taking money out of the system. So there'll be no Christmas, particularly for the poor.
And you are of the opinion...
not only the people in the West, but also in the places that have not been affected. There'll be no Christmas, except for the few.
And you are of the opinion that they are going to take out more money before Christmas?
Yeah, man.
What can go so?
Yep, well, it tells you how bad things are. And when you look at the display from the finance minister and the team at the finance ministry, that will lead to a further erosion of confidence that will create more pressure on the dollar. So it'll be coming back because they never did anything today, or so far they haven't done anything today that will inspire confidence. People must have wondered, say, yo, I saw the Ministry of Finance poor. So that gives people incentives to buy more dollars and say, yo, I don't like where I'm going.
Tell me this, Raleigh. The minister was asked what effect would the $24 billion loan to JPS have on this year's economy, the economy going forward, and how we are going to deal with things, losing that $24 billion. And she said it won't have any effect.
Madness, that question has still not been answered yet because, as we said, one thing that she said is that they are going to take back the $150 million from the $2.4 billion, the $450 million that has been earmarked for the JPS from the multilateral foreign direct investment flows. Yeah? So far, that question has not been answered properly. So the minister run from Parliament because the people are saying she was trifling, she shifted, and the people are insisting that is your question because you're the one who lending the money.
Yeah.
And she was consistently saying that is the Minister of Energy. And then the speaker is saying, no, but you, Minister of Finance, you must answer the question. So that question has still not been answered. So that's another part of the confusion that is going to lead to a loss of confidence because nobody knows what is going to happen definitively about the power supply because nobody knows where the other money is coming from. Yeah, that's a problem.
Hold on, Raleigh. Hold on. We are joined by Caribbean Radio, 97.9 HD4. High definition radio over there in Florida. We want to welcome the entire crew at Caribbean Radio. Brother Watto, big up yourself. Mama Yvette, blessings and welcome. We're talking to Ralston Iman, the top economist, the #1 financial analyst anywhere in this side of the world. Ralston Iman, we have him online. We were just listening to the Standing Finance Committee in the Parliament. A poor presentation by the Minister of Finance and her team. Couldn't answer most of the questions that were asked. A lot of questions were asked around JPS. Questions were asked around GDP. And she been bobbing and weaving and not answering the question. Ralston is just telling us that the Bank of Jamaica tomorrow will be taking out $50 billion out of circulation right before the Christmas season. And Ralston, I just want you to tell the people again what that will mean for Christmas for the average Jamaican, the little man, $50 billion taking out of circulation.
Well, there'll be no Christmas for him. There'll be no Christmas for the persons who have been affected by the hurricane. And there'll be no Christmas for the poor people who have not been affected by the hurricane. They'll be affected by this monetary hurricane. Yeah? So there'll be no Christmas.
This is the Colin Bell Show where we speak the truth and nothing but the truth, so help us God. Ralston Hyman, the US dollar, is it the Jamaican dollar, sorry. Is the pressure gone from the Jamaican dollar, or the Jamaican dollar is still under pressure?
Well, the dollar dropped by 12 cents today from $161.02 yesterday to $161.14 today. And that is why the BOJ is now in the market heavily trying with this mopping up exercise. This is one of the most mopping up exercises. Well, this is the biggest mopping up exercise we have seen since the start of this year. $50 billion in one day. That never happened before.
How much you gone from the year now? You have done any?
137.5 billion since the start of this year.
137.5 billion. 137.
Yeah, and almost 900 million US dollars from the net international reserve.
And 900 million USD.
Yep, from the net international reserve.
And where are we now, Ralston? Any final figures on our import and export to date?
Well, the trade deficit up to July, the trade deficit was 3.5 billion. We imported 4 billion and a half, and we only exported 1 billion.
$1 billion. And we're going to see that look worse because Beryl would have mashed up a lot of the crops. So we see a whole lot of food imports coming in and all of those things, raw materials and everything. So we're going to have a blow trade deficit this year. What will the purchase of 5,000 container houses do to the economy rally?
Well, that's another almost $100 million in imports. Yeah, so that will help to drive up the import bill, and that will reduce the ability of the administration to stimulate the economies of the West, because all that money will be going to China while you have the workmen down there who have work to do, and the foreign exchange will be going out. So that's a very, very bad decision. That is going to worsen the situation.
But isn't it a no-brainer rally that we should have just build concrete house, mass employment down there in the West and start driving the economy again?
Anybody who understands economics is a no-brainer to them. So this must be some level of corruption or something.
But you
because
know,
it doesn't make any economic sense.
You have to understand economics for that, for say.
No,
if you spend
common sense, that man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not even economics; it's common sense.
Yeah, man, common sense. Man. So it must be some other reasons why they are doing it. Yep.
I smell the buses, Raleigh. I smell the tailpipe of the buses.
Yeah,
same thing like
yeah, man. Bad decision in every way.
I don't know how is it that we are going to come out of this struggle rally, because they can't spend the capital budget, and the fact that they have not been able to spend that kind of money. Where do you see the growth coming from? Because the minister now giving a growth plan. We're asking you for a growth plan now. Where you see the growth coming from?
With the quality of this team, it is difficult to see a recovery and a rapid economic growth. With the quality of the team that we have at the Ministry of Finance, because whatever they are doing is not confidence inspiring. Even the own speakers who are watching now getting upset with the minister and her team, because what she's saying doesn't make any sense. She can't answer any question. She can't put out a definitive roadmap as to where we are going. This is shambolic.
Ralston, if the Prime Minister would take some advice from you right now as it relates to the economy, what is the first 3 things that you would tell him that he must do right now?
He needs to fix the Ministry of Finance. That's the first thing he needs to do. Fix the Ministry of Finance, because the OLSA is woefully inadequate. So he needs to fix that.
2.
Then the decision, get the broad-based national committee where people are talking about. Yeah? And those priority projects that the multilateral agencies are talking about, allow the broad-based national committee to choose those projects. And those projects should be, housing should be a priority, agriculture should be a priority, education should be a priority, yeah, energy should be a priority if we want to move the country. But what is happening at the Ministry of Finance is too sloppy. Yep.
Sister Tanya, good evening. What would be the importance of that broad-based oversight committee, Ralston?
In order to ensure that the resources that we're borrowing are spent properly, in order to ensure that the priority sectors that are going to give us the growth is chosen, and in order to ensure accountability and transparency. This sloppiness can't continue if we're going to recover.
Can't continue, therefore.
No, it can't continue.
So you are saying that the first thing the Prime Minister needs to do is find himself a finance minister?
Yeah, man, get a proper finance minister and strengthen the Minister of Finance.
Seriously now, Raleigh. Seriously now. You've been saying that. Who, Ralston, not just in the Parliament, but who is it that the Prime Minister could say, all right, give her a seat around here and put in the money and make him other woman here and make them Minister of Finance? You are in the financial sector on this island for over 35 years. Who is that person that we could look to now to fill this gap?
Well, I don't know. I tell you the truth. I don't know.
No, but we have to find somebody. Somebody have to step in.
Well, that's his responsibility. Yeah, he must find somebody because this can't work. This is not going to get us anywhere. Yeah, so he's the man in charge. So he needs to find somebody that can run the portfolio in a way that inspires confidence.
No, but Raleigh. We're serious now. We have to look. Where do we look for this person? Is it a Keith Duncan?
Nah, man. That will be even worse.
So who? So who, Raleigh? Who?
Boy, really, that's really a tough one. Yeah, because remember, say the minister have to be aligned with the government's philosophy. You can't just pick up anybody. You have to pick up somebody who is aligned with his philosophy.
Yes.
And maybe a lot of the good people are not aligned with his philosophy. That's one. And then there's the whole thing about the clause related to transparency and accountability, where maybe a good person who don't want to be working with his administration because of the cloud that surrounds him and the administration. So a whole heap of factors.
But Raleigh, it's about saving the country at this point, because some people might not realize, the election is over, and I don't think the GLP realize that the election is over because they keep talking about September 3 over. It means that it is on their mind. What we are now thinking about is that the country get a hard lick. We have to bounce back, because I've been saying to people, failure to bounce back and the slow movement that we are seeing now, the example of that is 80. We don't want to be 80. So no Raleigh.
Even prior to Melissa, we were firmly on that track.
I have a look on it now, Raleigh. 2010, 80 got over 10 billion US dollars in loan in donor and everything. Over $10 billion. We don't reach this yet, and 80 feel. So don't think, say, problem not there.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you that prior to Melissa, we were firmly on the Asian trajectory.
Oh, God.
We're getting there and getting there very fast, because we were almost there before. It is the only country in Latin America and the Caribbean that had a lower GDP than Jamaica, per capita GDP. Yeah.
And what about growth? Who have a lower growth rate than we?
Apart from 80, nobody else.
We have the lowest growth. What was 80 growth rate over the last year?
Well, the Asian economy are in consistent decline. Yeah, as S&P told us, we don't have the lowest growth rates in Latin America and the Caribbean, not just in the Caribbean, Latin America and the Caribbean.
So therefore,
that was before Melissa.
So what needs to happen now is a forward movement of the economy, even though our GDP has declined by 8.8 billion US dollars after Hurricane Melissa. Some people don't want to admit that,
But the real economists them in the world are that themselves, and that we go by. We are go by what Breber economists say.
No, but Ralston, how else it could have gone if you get this kind of damage, you lost this amount of money based on the hurricane. How you don't take that from the GDP? Where it come from then? Yeah, man, because you're deceiving yourself. And as Stiglitz said, what you measure and how much you measure tell you what you need to do. And because they're under measuring and underestimating, they don't know what to do. And that's why you have all this confusion in the parliament when they can't answer the question and all of those things.
because what they are doing is misleading themselves and misleading the nation.
Raleigh, I'd asked you a couple of weeks ago who are the advisors to the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister. Did you find out?
No, sir. They are advising themselves, man.
Yeah.
And even the advisors that the minister, because the minister right now have about 4 persons around her, and none of them can answer none of the question. They were totally unprepared. And them have all this time for prepared. 6 weeks now for prepared. And them can't answer the question. Everything is preliminary. And we'll get back to you. And we'll get back to this. And the Minister of Energy is supposed to answer this. No, man, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's embarrassing. Yep, embarrassing.
And this will
and
not...
all of them supporters who respect Jamaica and respect themselves must find this to be very embarrassing.
And this
Like
will not spur any confidence in the economical sector.
No. The Prime Minister has to get a better finance team. Yep. If the country is going to go forward, yes. So I can't see where we're going with this finance team. No.
So you are saying to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, you need a finance team. You need a team.
A proper finance team. This team is no good.
But you don't know nobody to recommend.
Well, as I said, me know people who could recommend, but them people are not aligned with the Prime Minister's philosophy. And them now going to work with a cloud of suspicion surrounding him.
Who are some of these people, Raleigh? Who are some of these people? Call some name, man.
No, man, we don't call them on name, brother.
But
them not going to work with this Prime Minister.
But the team Ralston, the country need help, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But
remember, so you only have one Prime Minister at a time.
Yeah.
I remember these people are reluctant to take help. So look on it. The National Committee. You see the National Committee, them farmers, them should call even a man like Dr. Peter Phillips, the former finance minister, the man who made all of these things possible.
But
and put him on the committee.
Even the recovery and restoration and resilience, where them call it?
That matter about
Nara. Even no name nobody for it yet.
That's the point I'm making.
Nobody no name for it yet.
That's why when you press me upon this thing, I tell you, the man, them don't need no help. Because a man like Peter Phillips supposed to depend on that. You follow me? I say to you,
and the man, they are nationalists.
Yeah. Man like Dr. Burgess, the construction engineer. Man like Richard Mullins from the Master Builders Association. All the man, them should have called in them on a long time. That may I try to tell you. Them incompetent and them don't want to help from nobody. Yep.
So, them will mash up the country then?
The boy, you see that for yourself, man. But the people have made a decision, so they must have to stick with the consequences of them decision until such time if they remove them before time or whatever. But they've stuck with that.
Would you help?
Yeah?
Would you help? Consultant Ralston Iman.
Yeah, well, we are prepared for Jamaica. Yeah, the finance minister is somebody who we know very well and all of them things there. Yeah, but as I said, their thing is that they want people who totally align with them and yes men and all them things there. Yeah, so there is going to be difficulty. So when I talk to you about in terms of persons who align with their philosophy, I'm not aligned with their philosophy. And I am not aligned with the kind of a perception that surround the Prime Minister and them things. So all of them things I tell you. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
We're talking about the Jamaican economy, people, where we are now and the growth that we must make. Ralston, if we don't grow and we take this $3.6 billion, we take all of that money over 3-4 years and we don't grow because it is going to be difficult. Because one of the things is the money is to build back with mash up.
Yeah, man.
And if we don't see the growth.
I remember, when you build back with mash up, you just get back to where you were before as Stiglitz and Sachs, you know.
Yeah.
It's not an expansion. It's like you know, would have a run a business. And you have your fridge and empty there. And you lose your fridge and empty there. When you buy back a new fridge, you're just getting back to where you were, you know. It's not that you have the old fridge and you buy a new fridge to expand. You have got back to where you were before.
Yeah, because you have one fridge and you might get back the one fridge and like you have two now.
Precisely. When you should have two, right, you get it. Yeah. Simple. Yep.
What I'm asking is that over the next 4 years, $3.6 billion added to the debt. And we don't get the kind of growth, because to balance that out, what we need to be growing by 4 or 5%.
You know, so the minister couldn't answer the question when Damian Crawford answered.
Me say,
it take her about 15 minutes and all of them still answer the question. All right.
And Damian go around and come back with it.
All right. Right.
Ask her what the surplus will have to be.
All right. No, tell me now. All them people who are paying them all per month, they don't have 6 weeks. Them should be able to come to the parliament and say, yo, hear me now. We are projecting growth of 5%. We are going to run a primary surplus of 3% in order to bring the debt to GDP ratio down to X by X time. Them should have all of them in it. It take her 15 minutes and everybody look on them and all know the question has not been answered.
No answer yet.
Do you believe investors can be confident in a situation like that? And then you believe we can be praising something like that unless we don't have no standard? I joke thing that.
What we want the labor rights them to come, because we
need
answers. We need answers and we need explanation.
Yeah, man.
And if it's war, a war. We need the Prime Minister to start this war of defending the questions. Come answer the questions that we have. The questions that have not been answered today, and the other questions we have. So Raleigh, how we have to grow? What we have to grow by 4 years?
Well, it would precisely, Colin, prior to that, we needed to grow by 10% per annum for at least 15 years to catch up with Barbados. That's before we take on this extra debt.
Yes.
So when the minister come now and can't answer the question on them, that is embarrassing. We have to grow like 10% on them kind of percent debt per annum for 10, 15 years. If we are going to repay them debt and live for our children out of poverty and give them a standard of living that is better than ours. Yes.
Brother.
Yep.
Trouble.
And we have to invest in things like agriculture. We have to invest in things like housing. We have to invest in things like energy. We have to invest in things like R&D, so that we don't have to import so much raw material and capital goods to produce. Them kind of thing that we have to invest in our creative industries, which is internationally competitive, so we can generate more foreign exchange. If you notice, one thing will happen, they entertain them, outshine the government in terms of response to the catastrophe, you know. And that is why, man, I say, boy, they want people to have dignity, they don't want a body a kind of food going in a body, because it's a PR thing. The man, they might get more play than him because they might do more.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Well, me still want to hear what you said before the hurricane. To catch up with Barbados would have to be growing by 10% per annum.
10% per annum, yep.
So now we're going to need to grow by 20.
Yep. If we now look at those growth rates over a 15, 20-year period, Colin, we're not going to win. We children will end up in a slavery, bottom line.
But with
we can't. Go ahead.
No, you finish.
And we can't believe after 5, 6 weeks, the minister and our entire team come to the parliament without any projections as to those things. Yep. She never even come to the parliament and talk about the additions, and then when the speaker mentioned the additions, she never even put them in a proper way that the speaker say, "I can't use the whole way." You know. Come on, man. Do better than that, man.
She did said some growth. Well, I think one time here she had talked about growth of 3% and
1 to 3%, she said, man, after 15 minutes. That can't cut it.
1 to 3%. Where would that take us?
That can't cut it.
No, but where would that take us? If we are growing by, let's say, 2% per annum, where would that take us?
If you grow by 2% per annum, because remember, there's a difference, and there's another thing where people don't know. There's a difference between growth is measured on real GDP, not on nominal GDP. Real GDP right now is about $1 trillion. You see what I said to you?
Yes.
So if you grow up by 3% on them thing there, you know, reach nowhere. Yeah? That will take it to $1.2 trillion in terms of real GDP.
Right.
Yep. So the standard of living, that only raise the standard of living much. Yeah? Yep.
The government needs to stop grandstand and get to some serious work.
I don't know if them can grandstand after today now, because that is clear for the whole world to see. This is a fiasco. Yeah. Everybody will laugh. The whole line of my place of people are watching and can't believe it. In disbelief.
No, a joke. Serious. Yep. And people, if you have not seen it, you have to go watch it.
Yep.
Because Julian Draper up and Julian Draper up coming like a joke Drape up to after Crawford done with her.
Yeah, man. Everybody. Even the speaker draper up there. When you look on our own speaker, after I draper up them way there. Nah, man, the whole thing not coming childish, man. Me, I tell you, if me were the minister, in order to maintain my dignity, I just resign.
Ralston, you don't like the minister.
No. Yo, Colin, minister, my sister, and she my constituency representative. The minister is somebody when me talk to regular.
I know that.
Yeah. Up to Tuesday, so WhatsApp me and I tell him about the constituency and the cleaning up, because me I tell her the minister of the constituency want clean up. Because in a fair zone, when me go in that zone, the people them come to me with all kind of complain. To them know some know and me and her have a good conversation. So me not fight against the minister.
So
I know the minister a long time before she even come in politics.
So if you know her so well, why you not send some information to the minister, Raleigh?
Me send information to the minister. All for things me send her on Sunday and she will respond to me. Yeah, me I tell you that. So when I talk about that, my pedigree, yeah, in my family, yeah, my father was the constituency secretary to that constituency when David, I don't know if some of them laborers know about David Alexander Lindo. He was permanent secretary in the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce during the 1967 period. My father was in secretary, yeah. My mother and Ed Bartlett, I grew up with them man there. Them man they come on my yard. You follow me, I said you?
Yes.
Yeah. My sister, them and the current minister, them are parring partner.
Oh, yeah, I say.
So, yeah. So them can't question my pedigree as somebody in relation to labor rights. Some of them come with them little eat that thing. Yeah. My sister and the minister, when she come to the constituency, she check my sister, them and my cousin, them and them thing. Them are foot soldiers.
So, Raleigh, you said you send some things to our Sunday. But Jamaica needs you, brother. May I tell you that this evening here? Jamaica needs you because when we see this evening, we are going straight down in our hole.
Yeah, man.
And the people them we have the steering, no know say in our hole we are go.
Yeah, man.
Like them a dream. Them a dream, so we are dreaming of a bright Christmas and everything nice.
You must be mad. Crazy. 50 billion will be taken out of circulation tomorrow. More hardship. And I'm saying to you that the minister said nothing to the country and the world, the investors that are looking on, that will make them confident about where Jamaica is going. Because she couldn't answer the question. She never come with no forecasting skills. And our team was the same thing. It is embarrassing. I'm saying to you, just look at the way the speaker handles the session. And for the labor rights, and then can say, yeah, because the speaker is not against the minister. And when you look how the speaker have to be upgrading the minister and tell her how to do things and all of those things. This is the thing really gone to rock bottom. Whenever I'm thinking it will go so low.
What interest rate they'll be giving on that 50 billion tomorrow?
6% per annum.
6%. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Government paper again, brother.
Yeah, man.
That's where we're gone.
Yeah, man. So that is also a part of the problem that is going to hold back the economy, because them kind of money that should be out there producing in energy and agriculture is locked up in the vault at the DOJ, and we're paying 6% per annum on it.
And that kind of money should be going into the economy to recover from
man.
barrel, kickstart the economy. And you are suspecting that they're going to take out more before the year done, and they might even defend the dollar before the year done.
Yeah, man, because the minister's presentation is going to lead to a loss of confidence and more pressure for the dollar. People are run for cover because they might say, yo, she don't know what she do, them don't know what they might do. Yeah, that is clear.
Ralston.
So the minister should have come to the parliament with a very convincing presentation today. This is that. And I might say, yeah, them know what they might do. But when she leave, yeah, it's like a joke. Primary school. Raleigh. Yeah, no confidence. Yeah, man.
We talk again tomorrow, my brother. Bless up.
All right, brother. Blessed love, man. Yeah, man. Cool.
People,
yeah,
Ralston, I man, telling you that things not look good in the state of Jamaica. We were watching the finance minister in the standing finance committee talking about the answering questions about the supplementary budget. And people, those of you who never see it, it is a disgrace. We're going to try and get to Professor Floyd Morris because we want to talk about this housing situation on the island. He put out a press release today. Why don't you listen to it?
I am Senator Professor Floyd Morris, opposition spokesperson on housing and sustainable living. I'm making this call for the government to make special accommodation for the 185 residents who are located at the shelter at Petersfield in central Westmoreland. These residents have been given until the end of December to find accommodations. And I believe that it is really unreasonable and difficult for these residents in light of the circumstances. I understand that the school is needed to reopen for students. However, the government must ensure that they provide some reasonable shelter to house these residents whose lives have been displaced because of a hurricane that they never brought to Jamaica. A caring government would ensure that these residents are protected and supported instead of putting forward solutions that is an affront to the dignity of the people, because they have indicated that a tent should be pitched on the playfield so that it would house these residents, and the playfield is subject to flooding from time to time. I would suggest to the government a three-pronged approach wherein they would find appropriate holding area for these residents. Second, they would look for those residents who have houses where they can effect repairs, and the government would provide building materials for them and get the JDF, their engineering corps, to assist these individuals with repairs to the houses. And third, where the residents have no houses, then the government would have to provide a more sustainable fix for them, because you don't want to leave these individuals without any form of shelter. A caring government must ensure that these citizens are protected.
That was a statement sent out today from Senator Floyd Morris. We had touched base with the Senator Professor Floyd Morris. We had touched base with him, asking him to join us today to talk about the PNP's views on housing. I hope that he rings me back when he see that I was trying to call him. But we continue the discussion, people. Because when we look at the whole situation as it relates to housing, and the fact that we need growth in the economy, we need to ensure that people get back somewhere to live. And those people who are still in shelter They are in the shelters because they don't have anywhere to go. That's why they're still in there. Because it's not like the shelter is somewhere that is comfortable. The government refuses to show any care and compassion to the Jamaican people. Because we have been saying from the week after the hurricane that the government should remove some of the people out of the situation. Yeah, man, go ahead. And ensure that they are in a place of safety and comfort. You understand? So therefore, it cannot be that the government sit down upon them laurels and ready to take people out of the school and put them in a tent on the playfield. All right. And put them on a playfield that the people say whenever it rains, that playfield full of water. Why is it that the government don't want to put nobody over Trelawney? Are we so uncaring? Why is it that Braco Village is there closed with a whole heap of rooms and we have elderly people walking from yard to yard sleeping on chairs? Does that show any care for our elders? The Disability Association tell you how much people they can't find after the hurricane. The Deaf Society tells us that people who are deaf leave the area before the hurricane, and when they return and their houses have been destroyed, they turn them away from the shelter. What kind of care are we showing to our people? Mr. Prime Minister, labor rights it not look good. Me see one GLP blogger at one point saying that the government need to evacuate some people. Look like him conscience did dig him. And I'm calling on you all. Have some compassion for your people. Show a little love to your people. Government have to do something. You're sitting down waiting to purchase 5,000 container houses. You're looking at about anywhere between 3 to 4 million Jamaican dollars. You are going to need USD, United States dollars, to buy these container houses. You're going to take that out of the economy. We are saying to you, Mr. Prime Minister, there is a better way. You say you is a man when afraid to take ideas. Take the idea. Take it and run with it. Build concrete houses for the people. Concrete shells. We showed you a picture yesterday evening, you know, from down at Trelawney, where the people them do with some little matches box. And after they got those matches boxes, after they get the matches boxes, the people turn those matches boxes into mansions. Mansions. They turn them in a. And we are saying that give the Jamaican people a start. If you give them a start, they will do what they need to do to ensure that their living conditions are improved. That is the Jamaican spirit, you know. Them just want a start. But I don't know. See there? See them house, them people. 10 years ago, those houses were matches box. Right now, one of them when me I look on a 4-story that me I look on a come from down the gully. Next one over there so look like 1, 2, 3, another 4-story, 3-story. That's what the Jamaican people did with those. Let me say good evening to the people in West Palm Beach, Lauderhill. I want to say good evening to the entire Broward County. Merrimar, good evening to you. If you're listening to us on Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4, good evening and welcome. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show, where we speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yeah, man, and in this digital age, we're catching the liars them. Catching them. Like how we catch Marlon Morgan yesterday. Trying to tell a lie upon Colin Bell. And the fact that it is a digital age where the information are stored all over in the cloud, stored on YouTube, on TikTok. And of course, let me just remind the people on Caribbean Radio that my YouTube channel is Portland Spice TV. If you have not yet checked it out, please check it out. Give us a subscription, give us a like, and share it. Yeah, man. We have a whole heap of videos on there where you can go back and look on the things them where we talk about, because we not just come and yap. When we talk and we criticize government, we give government solution. We are the best friend to this Labour Party government. Portland Spice TV is one of the top advisor to the Andrew Holness-led administration. We're not your choir. When you're wrong, we're going to beat you bad. And when we beat you, we're going to tell you the right thing for do. Sister Jetty, Sister Jet, good evening to you. So, we want to open the phone line and I want to take on the calls. Since we don't get Professor Floyd Morrison. 876-804-7072. You can call us straight. You can call us on WhatsApp. Some people are still talking about the decision of Chief Curry from a compound. Chief Curry said to the Prime Minister, we will take the material, but no thanks for the Jamaica Defense Force coming up to our compound. We don't need the soldiers in our compound. We can do the work ourselves, and you can send the soldiers to somewhere else. So, we don't need the soldiers. A lot of Jamaicans getting at them feelings. We have a caller. Hello, good evening, caller. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Colin.
Yes,
Colin,
good evening. Yes.
Before you continue with your show, I say,
yes,
I need you to go back on the parliamentary sitting until you see, until it's still Warmington come up.
Yes.
You must watch that part. Go and watch it right now and let your viewers see it as well. That part is a must watch today. He checked the chair and he checked the finance minister. So you need to go and watch it with your audience right now.
Where's the Warmington?
That's a must watch. Just go back to Warmington. He checks the chair and he checked the finance minister. You have to watch it with your audience. That is a must watch.
All right, hold on there. See me, hold on there. Hold on there. All right.
Just go back.
Hold on. Hold on. Me think me see him like a while. Hold on there, man.
Yeah, man.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Me find Wami. Because me see him like a while, you know. Me find him like a while and let it go, you know. Right before dating.
You have to find him, man.
Hold on there, man.
Find
me
him.
look for him. I wonder if him there, so. Me I go find him. Because I have it on the screen, but I'm not listening to it.
He dealt with the chair properly.
Yeah?
Dealt with the chair properly. really check favor.
Hold on, I'm
I
in
want to
this.
tell you what I'm say. Me need you to see it for yourself.
In this. All right, hold on there now. Hold on there. I think I right here, so him will come. Hold on there. Make way. Lego. Hold on, him that like while.
So kindly complete your statement.
Madam Chairman, may I say to you?
You need to go back some more. You need to go back some more, Colin.
Me need to go back more?
Yeah, man, you need to go back some more.
All right, Campbell. So this is Dayton Campbell now.
There needs to be a greater allocation here. The 3,300 units, that's fine.
So it's after this?
The need is
yes, when you see him come back up, him have something to say because he made a point of order.
To provide
all right, so I guess him soon come now.
All right, we'll watch it again together.
All right, cool.
What they want is somewhere to stay.
Remember, Campbell, just a moment. The permanent secretary will need to provide his answer to the minister for the minister to respond. In addition, the Minister Morgan, who is within the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, has asked for an intervention to assist with this particular response. Oh, sorry, member, your mic is on. My apologies.
It's me here.
Go right ahead, member Warmington.
Madam Chairman, I've been here since 1980, came back 2002, and I'm amazed to see that the permanent secretary is responding to questions in this house. The minister ought to respond to any question asked here, not the permanent secretary. So I'm asking, maybe not asking, may I say, we turn to protocol in this house, whereby questions are not directed to the permanent secretary, and the permanent secretary does not respond. Technical officers, consultant advisors do not respond in this house. All answers must be.
No, additionally.
She lock off the mic. She lock off one mic. So Caribbean Radio, we just segue a little bit to the Parliament because we have in the background the Parliament live. They're having a sitting today, standing committee, finance standing committee.
Hold on. When I'm speaking, I do not expect anybody to cut off my mic. I came up here.
Warmington.
Let me finish.
Member Warmington. On a point of order.
No.
On
Chairman, you don't come point of order.
From the chair. Member Warmington, you have several mics on, and I don't even need to call on any privilege as chair. You had other persons also making a point of order.
But I can't go off in the middle of it.
I have no clue if you're finished, and I didn't know your mic was off.
I did not come to
So
say, Madam
kindly
Chairman.
complete your statement.
Madam Chairman, may I say to you, you cannot call point of order as chairman and speaker.
I don't even
point
want
of order shall come from only the floor.
You
not
had
from you.
You had one from the floor.
The chairman can't come point of order on me. We can call point of order, not the chair, the speaker. But I'm saying that I've never seen it in my 38 years.
Yes, and you have said that before, and you are not repeating the house. Complete your intervention,
Madam Chairman.
Member Warmington.
Madam Chairman.
Complete your intervention without repetition.
I have the greatest respect for you, but do not. I have the largest number of votes in the South, 10,000 plus. So do not do it. And don't cut me off either. Let me speak. I'm saying when a member raises an issue, his only minister can respond in his house, not permanent secretary, not officer. That's why I'm trying to get attention in his house. I came in 1980, never before. But I don't finish yet.
Yeah.
I'm saying can respond. The permanent secretary, tenure officer, must advise her what to say. Don't put up my mic, you know. Do it again.
Aye. Thank you, listener. That was worth listening to.
Finish, member Warmington? You're finished? You have a... Okay. Thank you.
She have to make Wami talk. Ramp with Wami.
Chairman. Chairman.
All right, so we're taking it back. We're taking it back from the parliament. God almighty. The Jamaican parliament become a clown show. Seriously, people. So those of you listening on Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4, we just segued to the House of Parliament in Jamaica a while ago. This is the Colin Bell Show. We're coming to you live from Port Antonio, Portland, Jamaica. Yes. And of course, Caribbean Radio carrying Caribbean Show from Caribbean country. Caribbean 97.9 HD4. Check it out. High definition radio. Bro Gary, big up yourself, sir. Big up yourself. So, we're taking your calls. Let's get back to the callers. 876-804-7072. That's the number to call. That was a Tala moment. A real Tala moment. But, my people, as a country, we have to get serious. Jamaica have to step up the pace. We're lagging behind. Lagging behind. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. Turn off the instrument in the background. Whatever you're listening to me on, turn it off and talk to me now.
Warmington get warm.
Warmington are warm up the parliament. Tell Juliet, don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
Well, where's the opposition Warmington?
Tala.
Well, I have a question now.
Yes.
With the thing with what do you mean? Yesterday the court case.
Oh, you mean with Andrew Holness and Paul Buchanan?
You want to feel? You honestly feel? You have some people them start before the case even done. Them start celebrate and weeks before. Sometimes hear some people come out. Them are going win. I think them need for just sometime humble.
Yeah, but a lot of people had it wrong, caller, because even if the judge had ruled in the favor of Paul Buchanan, all would have happened is that the case would go back to the constitutional court to send the matter to the election court. So nothing significant would not happen in terms of the prime minister leaving office or whatever. That case that the ruling came out yesterday was not for that.
Yeah. So what will happen eventually now?
Well, what we are understanding is that an appeal will be filed. That's the information we are getting.
So it's like a Privy Council?
Well, there's the Court of Appeal here before the Privy Council. So
that's going to take another long drawn out.
I hope not, because what happened yesterday was in the Supreme Court. Then we have the Court of Appeal, and then if it missed there, then that's when the Privy Council come in. And I don't even know if this. Well, I think it can go to the Privy Council.
Oh. Well, we just have to keep a finger crossed. Because I realize sometime while, you anticipate these court cases, you have some little PNP people come out and them start celebrate. We're going to beat them the 8th,
It shouldn't be that though, caller. It shouldn't be that. Yeah? It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be a celebration for PNP or GLP. It should be a call for justice to be served. That is what the call ought to be.
Sometimes you have to just humble and watch your thing and keep your finger crossed.
Yes.
And hope it's going in the right way,
Yes, man. Justice we are talking about. We want justice to be served.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Well, thanks for the call.
Respect.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Cool.
876-804-7072, the Colin Bell Show. We are live on Caribbean Radio. 97.9 HD4. Hello, good evening.
Yes, Colin, good evening.
Welcome to the Colin Bell Show, sir.
Yes, man. I can speak about 3 things, you know what I mean? But first question I'm going to ask you is that based on the JLP track record, do you believe that they care about the elderly in the country in Jamaica?
Well, what is happening now, what is on show, is not showing any care. And we can only talk about what is before us. I am not going back. I am talking about what is before us right now.
Well, I'm going to give you my opinion based on track record. If they care about the elderlies, they would not have set the Eventide Home on fire. That's what you need to do.
I don't know that they set it on fire. I don't know that.
Well, I can't tell you that. It's done under the JLP government. You know what I mean? So you don't have to accept, but that's the fact. Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about is the buildings in St. Elizabeth, which are they listed? The building are they listed buildings? The one that is a courthouse. Is it listed?
What do you mean by listed? What do you mean by that?
All right, they call it Heritage Foundation. Are they listed?
Well, some of the buildings that have been destroyed were heritage building. In fact, there was a Alabalu about one that was halfway destroyed, and then the bulldozer went in and finally totaled it. And people were really upset about that.
All right, one more question to you. Are they listed under the UNESCO World Heritage Site?
I might not think so. There are a few UNESCO World Heritage Sites, like the Blue and Drunkrow Mountain Heritage Site is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'm trying to remember other heritage sites on the island. I'm not sure. I couldn't answer that question.
Well, all right. My point is, all those buildings that are listed, the first thing they should have done, they should be doing it now, is to get the police to assist them to put tapes around those buildings. Tapes around them and mark do not touch, because technically speaking, if they are listed under the UNESCO World Heritage Site, they will restore those buildings. They will restore them back to their original state.
Something that we have to find out. I'm not sure.
Because I'm telling you, I work on listed buildings over here, listed buildings. You know what I mean? And you cannot touch them. And if you not do anything to them, you have to bring them back to the original state.
Yeah.
You might be able to for structural purpose. You might use column. You might use metal beams for structural integrity.
Yes.
But you have to clad. You have to clad those columns back with the brick.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you know what I mean? That's all. As I said, those buildings in St. Elizabeth should be taped around and signs should be put up, and they should get back to the UNESCO World Heritage Site. They will finance it. That's what I think. You know what I mean? I could be wrong.
Well, I will do some inquiry about if any of those were listed on the UNESCO World Heritage Site. I'll do some inquiry.
Okay, one more thing now.
Yeah.
Have you listened? You're familiar with the Jamaica national anthem, am I right?
Yes, I am.
And that Jamaica national anthem talk about standard, and any foreigner from a different country will listen to that anthem. They will say that this country is a country of standard based on the anthem.
Yes.
Will you agree with that?
I would agree, yes.
Okay. All right. My question to you, is Babsy Green still acting as the Prime Minister of the country?
No, the Prime Minister is back. Is he? Hold on. Is the Prime Minister back? I don't remember if the Prime Minister is back.
All right. The point I want to make, you see, with the track record of Babsy Green, her track record, and the level of gangsters lifestyle that she lives.
Be careful, be careful what you are saying.
Colin, listen to me, Colin. Listen to me. Let me speak, Colin. Don't try to call my mouth. Let me speak, because I'm speaking facts. Her car was used by her cronies to commit crimes. You know what I mean? And I know exactly what I'm saying. She should never be acting as Prime Minister with her track record. What is this that is telling the young kids? Listen to me, you can do anything.
The whole thing about that, thing about that is speculation and accusation. Babsy has never been charged for any kind of criminality of the sort. We know that she was locked up under the state of emergency back in the 70s, something like that, in the 70s. But she don't have no criminal record, brother.
Well, Colin, there are a lot of people in Jamaica who have a criminal record, but they are criminals.
And
I'm thinking that right now.
That may be so, but you can't come out and ascribe criminality to them when they have not been found guilty of such in a court of law. Some of these speculations we have to start learning to keep them to ourselves, because if the right time come, we can't prove them. We can't say we did here so, we did here so. So we have to be careful and be responsible.
Well, Colin, when she was put up at Upper Camp, she wasn't there because she was a choir girl. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't there because she was a part of the choir. She was there because of her
suspicion,
destructive behavior.
All right, my brother.
Destructive behavior.
All right, we're taking some more calls. Thanks for that one. We'll leave it there. Nuts. Hello, good evening, Madam Producer. Hello, good evening. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Okay, you know, I was just watching the Parliament.
Yes.
And right, no, I ask you something. Do you think all of those people in the Parliament House is not equipped for the job or something?
Some of them not ready for the position where they're in. Like the finance minister is not equipped to be the finance minister. And you have other people in there who are not competent.
Okay, she sit around two person at least, I think.
Two people and two people. Yeah, and then you have a wallet behind her.
And they have a wallet behind her, a bend down over her every minute. And a whisper. And, you know, at one point, me think she go all drop down. That me have to say, why them not in the Parliament?
Yeah, one at time she did look very worried and frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah. And look like she go have some attack or something.
Me think.
Why it wasn't.
Me think.
Me have to just sit down and laugh.
Me think Omar Noel do her thing. Omar Noel ask her one question, and when she can't answer him, just ask the question again. I say, I left it at that, minister. And she turned fool.
But she also turned fool with my guy Van Dong for no where the
with Isaac?
When name again?
Isaac?
Yeah.
She couldn't answer Isaac's question. She didn't answer none of Isaac's question. Pure rubbish.
Nah, this is so embarrassing. So I tell you what, other country now watch what going on.
People from all about to watch it. Jamaicans all over the world. This was an embarrassing moment for Jamaica
to
today.
the country.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I'm not a bright person like that with finance, but why, that was so embarrassing.
Yeah,
Make me just feel so ashamed. I was just ashamed.
All right, caller.
Right now, she's still there in there.
Yeah, man, them still are having her chair. She are going to be there for a little while.
And she can't even answer the same way. I think they should have just override. Oh, God.
All right, caller. Thanks for the call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We lost the caller. 876-804-7072. Good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yeah, wow.
Where are you?
There, you know.
Talk to me.
It's embarrassment.
Aye.
That the World Bank and the IMF and them people that now watch.
Well, I guess what they might be saying to themselves is the Prime Minister they might deal with. Because remember, the Prime Minister said he had the meeting with the multilaterals, you know. He met with them. He met with them at the G7 or whatever down Africa. And then they called him before they make the announcement. Them call him and then they make the announcement. So he's the one who is in dialogue with them, it look like. And I wouldn't be surprised if his trip to New York also took him to some meetings with the multilaterals. I wouldn't be surprised.
Man, feel, man, and she's not supposed to do that, so.
The G20.
Somebody there on her.
Those are the technocrats, but if you listen to Ralston is saying that the technocrats are also incompetent.
Yeah, that's why so much money. That's why so much money are missing.
Tala wala.
Yeah, man, cause that pay done, man. And then they give you raise, man.
Well, the Prime Minister said the raise was to attract the best minds. Are these the best minds we have in the country, Mr. Prime Minister?
Nah,
Is
man,
this the
them
best?
people, them where you call it now? Yeah, collect him.
Brother, we are in a sad state. Here we need help. Raleigh say, tell the Prime Minister to get a finance team. Need a team at the Ministry of Finance.
Right, the Prime Minister asked him to company take him on.
Well, we have to see what is happening.
But you know, I get it. I know get it because politics. They play politics in order to the best interest of the country.
Well, this is now the time when the best interest of the country must be front and center. The interest of Jamaica is what we're supposed to be looking at. I would just want to say welcome to all the people joining us from time to time on Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4. High definition radio covering a lot of Florida, South Florida. Yeah, man, West Palm Beach. We're talking about Broward County. All Miami we are covering, man. Almost up to Jacksonville. We're covering right now on HD Radio, Caribbean Radio, 97.9 HD4. This is the Colin Bell Show. Yes, my brethren.
Yeah, man, the interest, I know for the country, for themselves and them friends.
And that's why I am agreeing with you, because when I see the man them want to buy container house instead of build concrete house, me say me smell the tailpipe of the bus them. Somebody's going to rob the country again. They robbed the country by buying 100 whole bus for $1.4 billion. And they're going to rob the country again by importing container houses instead of using black cement, steel, local sand, local gravel, local blocks, local cement to build concrete houses by local builders to spur growth in the economy. Instead, they want to take foreign exchange, go buy container house. Stop it! Don't do it, Mr. Prime Minister. Don't do it!
Yeah, it's not even the donation money my own buy. The NHT money.
No, enough to do.
And him not give most of them. Myself, some of them. Myself, I go sell some of them. Never give all of them.
Okay.
Rip off, man. Rip off.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Big up yourself and thanks. Here?
All right, bye.
We talk again. We're taking your calls. 876-804-7072. Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4. Real Mobby. Good evening. We don't hear from Sir Junior yet out of Montego Bay, you know. I want to hear him. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, Colin, good evening.
Blessings, my brother. Yeah, man, go ahead.
Colin.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
So, two things. One thing I want to ask about is the container houses. I want to know, they said they're selling for 36,000 US.
You can hold a second for me, caller. Just hold on for me. Hold on for me. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
I don't know if I might be naive to the system, but Probably you could explain that to me if that will work.
If you are naive to what?
Not naive to the government system in Jamaica.
Okay, talk to me.
I'm thinking that due to the hurricane situation in Jamaica, that part, if the government could use the military to expedite clearing of the barrel for the average Jamaican. Because, you know, most Jamaicans, they have all kind of stuff in the barrel that could help get their life back to some form of normality. I don't know the legality, I don't know, but I guess they would know how to do that down there. Why can't he realize that this is called for drastic action, where they could clear the barrel for the average Jamaican, not so much all the big thing that coming in from different agencies. What's your take on that? Where you could use
I would not agree with that, because you see, I still believe that anything coming through our borders must be properly checked and investigated properly. And we can't, because of hurricane, we let in guns and ammunition in this country. So I would have said we have to just be patient, ask customs to maybe step up the pace. Maybe we can extend working hours and those kind of things. But to bring in new people, no.
Yeah, that's a good point. They could extend working hours. But I'm saying we're not going to exclude the custom. But what I'm saying is that if they use the JDF to help supervise,
the JDF to do everything.
Help inspect the local, you know, the bars and stuff, so they could move things along faster.
Yeah, man, but you said that.
We understand it.
You said that already. And my view is that I wouldn't go there. If you have custom officers who are on leave, you could call them in. And as I said, extend some working hours. But I wouldn't bring the JDF in there. People have to be trained to do these things. Yeah, there's a level of training that is required for a custom officer.
Okay, I understand that, respect that. But in terms of, as you say, are you aware of anything where the Jamaica government is reaching out to the workers them to have all hands on deck?
Well, we hear the government calling for all hands on deck, but we don't see them bringing in the hands yet still. So let's watch and see. I think there will be announcements over the time to find out how we're going to expedite the clearing of these barrels, because what we are hearing is that there is a large amount of goods on the wharves now because a lot of people sending in things. So let's hope that the government will step up the pace.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, good. Can I say something else?
Go ahead quickly.
Why doesn't the government do more press conference to inform the people of how things progressing along?
Well, I don't know if we are short a press conference. I haven't seen one this week. I don't remember if we had any last week, but we know we were having quite a number of press conferences coming up to last week. But I think we'll see more press conferences.
Okay. All right.
All right, my brother.
Thanks for that.
Thanks for the call.
Cool.
We have a caller holding. Yes, we have a caller holding. Thanks for holding, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, Colin, as I was saying, there is some information out that one of those 40-foot container house costs 36,000 US.
36,000 US.
Yes. So what I'm asking is does that could compare against building a house in Jamaica if it would cost the same amount or it would cost more amount? And
what size container house is that? 2-bedroom?
I think it's a 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom. So that is about 5.7 million Jamaican dollars. And then that includes the shipping?
Yes, it include the shipping and the foundation and everything.
It include the foundation too.
Yes.
What I would tell you is that that money could build a 2-bedroom concrete house. Basic.
Yes.
A basic 2-bedroom 24 by 24. And you deck the top.
Yes. Yes.
That money could have built that.
Okay.
And it
and
would,
the next
it would build it, you could build it in less time than the 90 days that is gonna take to bring that from China.
So with all the commodities of the home, would like the water heater,
No, it
the
would
solar panel.
It wouldn't have no water heater, no the concrete house I'm talking about wouldn't have no water heater, no solar panel. You'd get a basic structure with maybe a bathroom, face base. You'd have to put in the rest of stuff them in it.
Okay, okay. Next thing, Colin.
But the difference though, caller, is that the concrete house could withstand a category 5 hurricane. The container house can't do that.
That was my thinking. That was my thinking right there.
And the container house have a lifespan of about 10 years at best. The concrete house, no, we can't leave it out.
Oh my goodness. So we have been shafted there then.
Oh, you mean then somebody have robbed them a rob way? Somebody are gonna make billions off of the importation of those houses.
And what I get to understand that these houses are not built manufactured in Jamaica.
No, you know, you must say them all come from China. Minimum 90 days. We can build that 2-bedroom in 60 days. Complete.
So that means the people in China will be benefiting from these houses, not the Jamaican. Construction people.
You're understanding it. You're understanding it clearly, my brother. You're understanding.
Wow.
It. Yes.
This is not in the best interest of the Jamaican people.
Not at all.
I'm telling you straight up.
Not at all. I am agreeing with you. It is not in the interest. But not even our best. It is not in the interest of the Jamaican people.
And next thing, Colin, I want to find out if the government still pay taxes to the monarch of Britain.
I don't think so. I don't think we have ever paid them no taxes after we get independent. I don't think so. The only thing we pay for them is the Governor General, because the Governor General is the King's representative.
Well, that is a part of taxes too.
Well, so and by my understanding, about $30 million a year we pay. It's a nice sum.
That's a nice sum. We could have go towards the feeding the poor or something.
Yes,
you know
man.
What I mean?
Yeah, man.
But as I say, Colin, finally before I go, the thing now with the Maroon and the government, I don't think the government should go into the Maroon community there, because there are a lot of communities in Jamaica that have been affected badly. You know what I mean?
I need help. No.
I'm not saying I need help, and you need to fix up those places and get those people life going again, instead of going and messing with the Maroon them and talking about one no autonomy and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you offer a man something and him say me will take X and Y out of it, but me no want B, just give the man X and Y and keep your B. Man is saying that we have human resource in a compound. Give us the material and we will do the work. Send the soldier them somewhere else.
I agree with Chief Curry position, because the soldiers them should be out helping the other communities.
The soldier them should be retrofitting the Greenfield Stadium down there in Trelawney to house some of those people that are at Petersfield School that they need a school for January. Set it up nice, retrofit it, put some people in there until you build them house and take them out. Soldier them should have fixed up Bracco Village to take some of our elders and mothers, single mothers with young children.
when I was a young man, and I always go to where the soldier always come over there in Portland, there over the marina and everywhere,
And up
and up by Folly.
Yeah.
Right. And I see the soldiers them build some massive tents on those properties to welcome soldier from Netherlands, from Italy, from France, from Germany to come and train in Jamaica. So when I saw what happened with Melissa, and I don't see the JDF even trying to assist the people, I said to myself, we are going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, man. Totally. Wrong direction. And
you know what I mean?
And it's a no-brainer. But when you have a finance minister like the one we saw in the parliament today, finance and planning, you know.
Yes.
Then you
I
know.
saw she have like 3 people leaning on her shoulder, nudging her or something. I don't know what is going on there.
The truth is, though, any finance minister sitting in the standing committee like that will have the technocrats around them. So the technocrats around her is not an anomaly. What is surprising is that with all the technocrats and they couldn't answer the questions. That is the problem.
Well, we have a big problem. We have a big problem
because
here.
it is required for the technocrats to be there with her. They are the technical people who do the day-to-day running of the ministry.
Yes.
So anything where she's not sure about, they are supposed to advise her right there and then. As you hear Warmington say, them not supposed to answer questions. Is the minister must answer the question. But anything that the minister not sure, they can whisper in the minister ears or find it in the book that them have there and show her, say, see it here, and she do the answers.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Colin, we in big trouble, man. We in big trouble.
Somebody said, Colin, I would love to have a conversation with you. My name is Andrew. My number is 876-804-7072. Call me right now. I cut off the call. I come hope you need Andrew Wellness. Thank you, caller. Blessings.
All right, respect, Colin. Manners.
One
respect.
Love. 876-804-7072. This is the Colin Bell Show. We are live on Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4. Yeah, man. High definition radio. Make certain if you buy a new car now, that is what is supposed to be in your car. High definition radio. We are also on Alexa. We are on the Bro Gary Radio at zenofm.com. Check we out. Yeah, man. We're talking about Melissa's recovery. Hurricane Melissa. Recovering after that. It is yesterday, Monday the 8th day of December. Make it 40 days after Hurricane Melissa that the government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Labor, send over statin to collect the tablets, figure do the assessment of people who get damaged in the hurricane. What the hell can go? So I don't really believe that, people. People don't believe that. The government of Jamaica, we want to know what percentage of the assessment has been done. We want to know. We want to know how much portable water station the government put in place. Yes, man. My name is Colin Bell from Portland. Yeah? And thanks for joining us on Portland Spice TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like, and share. Everybody on the channel now, give it a share. Share it. And make we lift it up. Caribbean Radio HD. If you are in the United States of America, anywhere in Florida, and you have your HD radio, make certain on to check out Caribbean Radio. Yeah? So, we are saying that time come for the government to employ 2,000 people. And we've been saying this 3 weeks after the hurricane, 2 weeks after the hurricane, the same time when we come out with the plan to build the concrete shells. It was the same Saturday morning we said to the Minister of Labour, employ the teachers them were down at Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, and St. James were now work. Bring in all of those teachers. Yeah? Put them out there. Bring in the people them from the Ministry of Labour down at them place there. Where now in them office. Bring in the people them will lose them work from the call center. The people them will lose them jobs from the hotel. Bring them in. 2,000 of them. 7 days. You should take and collect all the data you need to ensure that the people them start get relief. It cannot be that you sit down on the laurels and the people them down there suffer and don't know the information yet. Rubbish. Government moving too slow. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Yes, Colin.
Bless up.
What I want to ask, don't the government get the insurance money?
If the government get the insurance money?
Yeah, because
yes, they did.
never talk about it, about the money where they get from IMF and all those places.
Yeah, they get the insurance money, yes.
So they're not talking about it.
Eh?
I don't hear nothing. I'm in Florida. I listen to you and the program. I don't hear them talking about that.
Yeah, man, the government get $150 million from the World Bank Catastrophe Fund. They get another $92 million from the CRIF, that's the Caribbean Insurance, and then get some other little money. So right now the government have about $700 million, both in loan and in insurance money that the government can start spending right now.
I only hear them talking about the money they get from IMF and all those things.
But them don't get that money, the $3.6 billion from the IMF, from the multilaterals, they don't get that yet. They have not gotten that money yet. In fact, the minister in the parliament today says she's not sure what the interest rate is going to be. When Damian Crawford pressed her, she said between 3 and 8%. We talked to our financial analysts, and our financial analyst said the multilaterals, their money now coming higher than 5%.
Yeah, I was there the right stand.
Yes.
I listen to you every day when I'm not at work.
Okay, thank you for listening. It's a pleasure to know that you do that. Thank you very much. And
yes,
share the channel with your friends and family.
Yeah, man, I'm a Jamaican, man. I keep contact.
You have high definition radio. You need to listen to Caribbean Radio HD 97.9 HD4. Best quality, better than FM. In fact, what the world is doing now is moving from FM radio to HD radio, high definition radio. So like when you're in Florida, make certain you get your HD radio and check out Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4. All right?
Okay.
Blessings, my brother.
Blessings, sir.
Yeah, man. You see, some people are very selfish. They don't care about their fellow mankind. And so they want people down at the West to sit down and wait till government please themselves. And we have been saying to the government, you're not moving with any alacrity. A Shrewsbury me come from here, Fruitful Vale. Me used to trampose a Swift River and them place about me as a Shrewsbury man. All right, well known. Blessings. So, government need to start moving more nimble. I hear the Prime Minister used the word the other day. Nimble. But we're not seeing that nimble movement from the government. We are saying to the government that you need to show a heart. Show that you care. Yeah? And get the people out of the swamp. Get the people out of the swamp. And we need to take politics out of the maroon business. Politics need to come out of maroon business. And I was happy when I see the Prime Minister went up to a compound was very happy because you'd want to remember that the Prime Minister had a meeting with the Maroon Chiefs a couple of years ago. And Corey was excluded. Corey was not invited. So Corey was saying that if the government had cut me off, then me I go lean over to the opposition side. Because the Maroons, them not really supposed to get into the politics to that level. But as the man say, if the government now pay me no mind, then what me must do. 876-804-7072. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. We are live on Caribbean Radio, 97.9 HD4. Go ahead, caller.
Good evening, Colin.
Good evening and welcome.
First, today it was very hard to watch, but it's what it is. We knew from last Parliament he had the disjointed response and lack of clarity and evasion and all that. So this week I didn't expect any better from
but they could have,
the
they could have got to do some preparation, man. Lord, man. You could have got to sit down and prepare and preempt some of the questions them.
I agree. However, as we can see today, that wasn't the case. All right. So we get to that, and all the questions that was asked, you realize she didn't have the answers, even the technocrats, because there was a sub after one set was there, then another set, and she still did not get the flow and could answer. So we all understand, even Warmington, who we didn't expect to chastise her and the speaker, did it. So we complete that.
I guess Warner was also embarrassed.
Well, you know, and to be honest with you, he's the one who always do the things that to embarrass them. It was surprising somebody else embarrassed them more than him.
Tolo.
Yes. Anyways, the next question I have to say, and it's with your topic tonight. I think you're more in tune to the homelessness.
Yes.
You're more focused on the homelessness, and we all need to focus and put our energy in this because our people are suffering. Now, think about it. Desmond Mackenzie did not prepare anything for them prior, Melissa. And all these 6 weeks plus, I would say, you've been begging, doing everything. You did the feasibility risk assessment for housing, for the replacement of the housing. You realize you did it verbally,
yes,
factual,
yes,
to bring all the technocrats, as you said, the specialists about the housing. You did a feasibility study.
Yes, I did.
Everybody understand. You put the concrete. You did even the comparison study. I can tell them exactly all the studies that you did, and you come with facts,
yes,
logic, and reasoning. Desmond Mackenzie don't hear. You're calling them to come and talk and nobody don't hear. But can you imagine, we were watching this man talking like him, same like him Prime Minister talk about if they want to be difficult, he can be difficult
too. What kind of work are them here? Them people have forgot to say them are the worker, you know, we are the boss, you know. They totally forget it.
Colin, somebody need to get to that man, you know, because I'll be honest with you, there's going to be war. You see, like how Melissa entered New Hope, Westmoreland, there's going to be war because we heard the MP for say he will personally stand in there because he's not going to allow these people to be put in a worse situation than they are now. I saw a picture of this lady sitting on a desk with her feet. You can see she have poor blood circulation because down her bottom of her ankle black.
Lord.
And she sit there on the desk. They're not on no bed in there, no.
But
they don't even have a sponge.
When the PNP did their press conference, Dayton Campbell said the people them not at Petersfield now have no bed, they have no sponge, they have not like that down there. I think after that, Usain Bolt went down there with a truckload of mattress or some sleeping material. So no proper preparation has been made for those people. What can go so?
Why can't, okay, then that's the, but think about it. He has not shown the alternative. He only talking as these people been doing PR and grandstanding. He hasn't shown any evidence, as you have shown evidence, comparable evidence. Put your picture on screen.
Yes.
He doesn't even show anybody right now the alternative. He was talking about the poorhouse, or what we call that again. And the roof was in disrepair.
Yes.
Up at
The
there. So
infirmary.
exactly. It's not even ready. So if the ball field, the ball field, remember we were talking long before this, so they can find a spot where they put up some tent city and all that, and they
Yes.
ignore you.
Yes.
They ignore even those suggestions to evacuate the people. And now you said the 31st of December they have to go, and the difficulty going to be difficult. When going to kill them?
Let me tell you something.
Because they said they now go. So when going to do?
Where there is no vision, the people perish. In the absence of counsel, the people fall. Where there is counsel, there is safety. These people leading Jamaica, they are not listening. They're not listening.
Counsel, they're getting counsel from you. They're getting counsel from Fana.
But you hear me say? They're not listening. They're not listening. They're not listening, Carla.
I baffle my head to say, how can we get them to listen? Now, you know, you see where it's coming to. It's gonna come to a head. You know what come to my mind from a long time now, and I don't remember if you recall Green Bay killing.
Yeah, Green Bay killing a murder. Boom! Oh, Lord. Remember that tune there too?
Yes, and it coming when they're talking about the military and all these JCF their special unit and all that. When I see these ministers going on like them Bullbuck and Dopey Conqueror, they don't, it's these men, you see them around them.
Yeah.
Special forces men around them. Are our special forces men going to
behave and stop it? Is who that in the parliament look like the prime minister? Me see somebody like the prime minister in the parliament a while ago. Hey. Hold on, I look in. Somebody tell me. Because it look like I see Andrew in the parliament a while ago. But
hiding. Pharaoh, where art thou? Pharaoh, where art thou?
Later.
Pharaoh,
Later.
where art thou?
Have a good evening. Thank you very much. Andrew not hide from nobody. Andrew say him not afraid of nobody. So, my people, when people now have roof over them head, when night come and people are worried about where them are going to sleep, that's an indictment on us as a people. Can the Prime Minister be impeached and removed from office? We don't have any impeachment laws in Jamaica. Prime Minister Andrew Holness in 2016, going into the election, 2015, 2016, promised impeachment law, promised term limit. Yeah? And none of those. In fact, him talk about fixed election date, term limit, and him all deal with them then at the first 100 days. 100 days? 10 trees are 30. We're gone about 3,000 days. And the Prime Minister has not done anything about impeachment or term limit. Our phone line is open. 876-804-7072. I wonder if I should have tried back Floyd Morris, because I had an appointment, but I think him say me that I'll do something after 7. I think him say me that I'll do something after 7, you know. But we're trying to get to Floyd, because a statement, Floyd put out a statement today about the same housing situation. Professor, I was calling you earlier. You ready to talk to me? Oh, okay. All right. So I give you 2 minutes and call you right back. All right. Beautiful. So it sounds like we're going to get to talk to Professor Floyd Morris because I'm saying connection I'm host, not so bossy. And they were putting in the Starlink, getting him ready. You know? Up and ready. Professor Floyd Morris is Senator Professor Floyd Morris is the PNP spokesperson on housing. And we want to hear what the PNP they are saying about this housing situation because we're not hearing much from them. We're not hearing what it is that they are saying about this housing situation or the lack thereof. Down west, a lot of people have been displaced, you know. A lot of people are living in an unfinished house, in a other people's house. People are walk around at night time and wonder which part them can get a catch. And hence we still have about 1,400 people in shelters because they have nowhere to go. And therefore we must find somewhere to put them. And we have been making the suggestions to the government from day one and then not budging people. That is the worrying thing about it, you know. It's not that they're not getting suggestion, but they're not budging. Them listen, but them not hear. Any government try to displace the maroon will be starting a war. Well, me not think about nobody try displace the maroons. So where are the tents? You mean the tents and the sleeping bags? We don't know. And we hope to see the PAC bring forward the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. ADPEM need to go back before the PAC now so we can get some more answers from ADPEM to know what has been handing out, how the relief has been going. But one thing I know is that the assessment should have been done by now. And my information told me that yesterday evening, before close of business, was when the Ministry of Labor sent over to Statin to collect the tablets that should be used for the assessment. If that not shock you, then I guess you're not care either. Because the assessment is critical for government to know what needs to be done, where it needs to be done, in what quantity. And I hear Desmond talking about the roof down at Westmoreland. Every roof that government go and build from now is supposed to be slab roof. The Jamaican government shouldn't build nothing unless it's in a park or on a beach with anything less than a slab roof. Because all our buildings now, we should now understand that we must build to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. That's one of the reasons why no container house nothing come here. I mean, I call upon the people, you know. All of you, the thousands that listen to my program and listen to other program, OB, Ralston, me I call upon the item. Make your voices be heard because guess what? And we have to pay back them loan that we are come from the IMF, you know. We are going to pay back some. We picnic them or pay some. For them picnic, I go pay some. Them picnic, I go pay some. Yeah? I'm afraid that slab roof cause an earthquake. If it is done properly, it should withstand a 7 or 8 on the Richter scale in terms of earthquake.
A lot of people are
Turn off the instrument in the background. The delay is massive.
Yeah.
Go right
Me
ahead.
just pause it.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really know, you know, but me think say, you see like how Isaac they go at the white man. I like coming like most things have to go at the white man, but supposedly the king can get rid of the prime minister. I don't really know how it goes still, but
not just
we
so.
don't really have no interaction with the monarch. That's the thing. So you know.
No, we don't have no recall law, we don't have no impeachment law, we don't have no removal law. We have to wait for the 5 years.
Well, yeah. I'm not too sure. You might want to look into that, but I think the king can do it. He can dissolve the parliament.
The king?
Yeah.
You think the king business will do, brother?
And that they say, but we don't really petition them enough. We don't really talk to them. We don't have no dialogue with them. Them things say we don't like them. But me I feel like, boy, we get justice out of them because Mr. Cartel get justice. And me don't know, you know, compared to, me don't know. Me just assure that out there, brother.
Well, I don't think the king business will do it. Maybe like how the hurricane
No, but
hit
you see,
we might go
would
up on
agree with that, but nobody, no petition them. So it's no dialogue with the Jamaican people and the crowd. It's only the parliament deal with the subject, them deal with them.
Well,
we don't deal with them.
No,
so
we don't.
Them kind of know say we have them off. Them know say Jamaican no rate them.
Yeah.
But nobody has, you see like how Isaac got here and he get justice out of a white man. I mean, and a simple justice, and look how the white man them froze and the corruptive behavior of Paula Llewellyn.
Well, other people go there and get justice too, you know. And justice can be had here in Jamaica. I don't really know anything
about it, but you know, me don't know. We probably need, if we not explore that enough, them people are now go turn over the hungry, you know, my brother. Because last man we do them sitting here, you know, bust a man, you know. But I see them party them always and do things to black people. Because remember them do the whole thing in a back of wall. A buster man.
Whole heap of things, yeah.
I don't know how him get national hero, but you know, because them not really teach him antics when do black Jamaican slaves when they get free.
The Coral Gardens incident as well was a Bustamante moment. When him said, bringing all Rasta dead or alive.
Remember, say when the Queen abolished slavery, them just let them go and then they end up on Bacawal, which is now Matthews Lane, Tivoli. It was a dump.
All about,
and then Bustamante, you know, come in with some radication thing. Remember, say the Queen, Bustamante was like the monarch government, you know, because I think them sent for mash up Marcus Garvey, you know. Yeah, man. Bustamante, I don't know. This party JLP, I don't know how black people pick up with them. PNP, you know, I know it's the Queen Party, the Monarch Party, but they have been more. They have been set a more example for black people than JLP. JLP has always been for the plantocracy and the, you know, them type of people.
Yeah.
And see, they know we have something on the scale. Of back a wall, look how much people over there, and this man just there like wicked. Him all I tell people not to send care package. Yo, you serious, man?
All right, my brother. Make we talk again. I'm going to try to get to Floyd Morris, you know, so we can talk to him before the program ends, right?
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, soldier.
One love, my brother. Thanks for the call. This is the Colin Bell Show. We are live on Caribbean Radio, 97.9 HD4. Hold on, the prof. And of course, we're talking about housing. So we want to take the time now and talk to the PNP spokesman on housing, Senator or Professor Senator Floyd Morris. Let's bring him on live and talk to him. Prof, good evening. How you do?
Hi, good evening, Colin, and good evening to your listeners.
Yes, man. Welcome to Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4, covering South Florida. So with Lauderhill, Broward County, West Palm Beach, all of them places, the Miramar, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. We're in them places right now, Prof. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Thank you very much, and a pleasant good evening to Jamaicans in the diaspora, you know?
I played your clip earlier, what you've been saying about the issue down there in Westmoreland, where the minister said on the 31st of December, everybody have to leave the schoolroom. And they are talking about building tent on the playfield. Speak to us about that, Prof.
Well, you know, first I want to start out by expressing my sympathies to my brothers and sisters in Westmoreland and all the affected parishes.
St. Elizabeth, Hanover, yeah.
displaced by the Category 5 hurricane. What I want to say is that it is the duty of government to protect its people and to ensure that the dignity of the people are preserved at all times. And so it is that we have citizens in a shelter, in a school, and understandably there is a need for school to continue.
Yes.
Government must make sure that they work out some reasonable alternative to accommodate these citizens. And that alternative cannot be to place the citizens on a playing field where we know, based on historical data, is prone to flood. Because that is the information that I have.
Right.
So the government has to make sure that between now and the 31st of December, that some measures are put in place. And I've listed the three alternatives. One, to make sure that, you look around. There must be other spaces in the area that government can move the people to.
Yes.
It is even to use a section of the school to hold those who don't have no form of accommodation. But work out something, because when we put our collective minds together, you will be amazed at how problems are solved, rather than to adopt a sort of bullying approach where you say you must move by the 31st of December, and not caring about what has happened to these 185 people. And in the suite of measures, I have indicated that we need to look at those houses where remedial measures can be put in place, getting the JDF to come together into their engineering corps to assist those residents who, their roof might be gone, or, something might have happened to their home. They can do something quick.
But Prof,
quickly.
Prof, what do you think about housing these people temporarily at places like the Trelawney Multipurpose Stadium, Braco Village, which is owned by the government? Why can't the government use those places to house some of these people for 2 or 3 months while they build out spaces for them?
Well, those are possibilities. That's why I said, look at the collective thinking, where individuals come together and put solutions on the table, rather than you just adopting a big stick approach and believe that this is what is going to work. And the crux of the matter, is to preserve the dignity of our Jamaican brothers.
And the Prime Minister speak about that dignity now and see them a run down for no food, but what about wanting to see them living in somewhere comfortable?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a part of the dignity of humanity, to make sure that you have proper roofs over your head.
Hello.
That is why the Constitution provides the rights for every Jamaican to have shelter.
And Jamaica is a signatory to a number of treaties that says the citizens must have adequate housing.
Absolutely. So I mean, we have put forward a three-pronged approach that the government should look at. And one of them as well, there are individuals who the hurricane has totally decimated their houses. And we're going to have to make sure that we restore those individuals to full housing, because this hurricane has shown that a lot of citizens are exposed to the vagaries of the weather.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that we put in place some protective mechanism for them in the future.
Professor Floyd Morris, we don't have a lot of time, Senator, but I want to hear your views on the container houses for temporary housing. What is your view and what is the PNP's position on container houses coming into Jamaica at this time to be temporary housing?
Well, and I'm happy that you're stressing and placing the emphasis on temporary.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because we believe that it must be just that, temporary. And there are different types of container homes, right? Because there is what they call the modular container homes, where you design the homes in terms of the frame from scratch or rigid. And that is different from what some individuals have used to convert containers that have used to transport cargo.
Yeah.
And that one is problematic because you don't know what is the history of the cargo that has been transported in those containers. So there has to be a distinction between the modular container home and the containers that have been converted from transporting cargo to a home. And we believe that should be temporary. We believe that we can use existing construction mechanisms, block and steel. We can get those done in quick time. I have spoken to an individual who, within 3 weeks, they have put up block and steel and roof, a one-bedroom and kitchen and bathroom since the hurricane.
So if we can do that, Professor, why do we then need to buy 5,000 container house spending foreign exchange to do that if we can build a one-bedroom in 3 weeks?
And those are some of the problems that the issues that we have to deal with, because if you're talking about rebuilding the economy and you want to generate economic growth, you have to make sure that you localize your construction as much as possible.
Yes.
So that you don't have leakages where, export, you're losing foreign exchange and increasing your import bill, because all of that is going to contribute to your import bill, So the government has to take a careful look at that. And the truth is that 5,000 container houses is going to be a drop in the bucket based on what we have heard taking place in Western Jamaica, because the estimate is pointing to over 140,000 buildings, including homes that have been damaged or destroyed by the hurricane. And so a whole lot of construction of buildings that is going to have to take place. And so the 5,000 containers that are here is just a drop in the bucket. And I would urge the government to be very careful in terms of how it responds to the type of houses that are being built. Because it is not to say that houses that are built with, say, for example, zinc roofs and so forth, that they never stood up in the hurricane at all. It is all about the building practices that have been done over the past couple of years. And because there have been questionable building practices, coupled with the fact that, Westmoreland, there is a historical relationship between housing and land tenureship in that parish, when you know that there were a lot of plantations in Westmoreland.
Yes.
And
sugar.
After slavery, a lot of the plantations were owned by individuals. And so the ordinary man never gets a piece of the land, so to speak, down there.
But shouldn't the government use this opportunity to fix that?
Absolutely. And this is why every time I engage in a discussion about the land tenureship in Westmoreland or in the affected parishes, I smile at the progressive and prophetic policy approaches that the PNP have put forward in the recent election. Because we had put forward a transformational approach to solving that problem, which is to reduce the time that it would take for an individual who is living on government land, government-owned land, and I'm stressing government-owned land, to reduce that from 60 years to 25 years.
I want you to hold on that for me, Professor. Just hold on that because we are up on the top of the hour. I want to say thanks to the people at Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4. You have been with us since 6 o'clock. It's been a pleasure having you. Do remember that we'll be back next week, Tuesday, for more of the Colin Bell Show live on Caribbean Radio 97.9 HD4. So I want to thank all the people over there for listening. Do remember to check out my social media handle. It's Portland Spice TV at YouTube. Please subscribe, and Shaka Fame at TikTok. Once again, thanks to Caribbean Radio HD 97.9 HD4 and all the people over there in South Florida. One love, my people. Thank you very much. Yes, Professor, you were saying.
Yes. So the Mark Golding led PNP plan was to change the law from 60 years to 25 years.
Yes.
In terms of the time frame for an individual who is living on government land to be able to apply for the title of that land.
And that will give them tenure right away. Legal tenure.
Right away.
Yes.
And what would have happened based on our calculation? Over 400,000 Jamaicans across this country
would have been benefited,
including people in Westmoreland.
Yes.
Including people in Westmoreland, because government is a large landowner in Westmoreland.
Isn't the government the largest landowner down on the island of the most land?
Government is the largest landowner. So you have what they call crown land, you have government land, which, that's owned by different ministries and agencies and so forth.
So we're not short of land?
We're not short of land in terms of making sure that there is adequacy for people to build their homes,
But we lack the will to give them the land.
That is where we have the problem. That is where...
My final question, Professor.
That is where this current government is having the problem. I know that the People's National Party under Mark Golding had expressly stated what we would have done had we been government to provide our citizens with land.
We are basically out of time, Professor, but I want to ask you one final question. Will we hear the PNP coming out with a definite position on this housing solution and as it relates to the container housing whether we should go ahead with container housing or we should save the foreign exchange, use it on local block, local cement, local sand, local gravel, imported steel, and local labor. Will we hear the PNP put out a position on that?
Well, definitely we will be putting out a clear position on it. We recognize that there is an immediacy to it, but it cannot be the way of the future in terms of housing solutions. Because if we're talking about building with resilience, if we're talking about building better than before, we have to make sure that we build and construct housing that will last.
Professor Floyd Morris, I want to thank you. I hope we can talk again pretty soon on this issue. But we're at the end of the show, so let me thank you very much for joining us.
And support.
Blessings.
You know, they have stood the test of that.
Blessings, my brother. One love. We'll talk.
One love.
Professor Floyd Morris is the opposition spokesperson on housing. Want to thank him for joining us. Want to thank Ralston for spending some time with us this evening. Thank you, listeners and the viewers. It's a pleasure having you here this evening. I want you to return tomorrow evening when we're going to bring on some more guests tomorrow evening, dive deeper into some of the issues, and of course, speak truth, nothing but the truth. This has been the Colin Bell Show for yet another Tuesday evening. Just remember, if you're packing a barrel, a box, anything to send to the people down there in St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney, we say, give them a light. Give them a solar light. Don't forget to put a solar light or two in whatever you're packing. If you can get that solar mosquito zapper, the solar radio, yeah, man, give them a light down the west. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace, now and forevermore. Until we meet again tomorrow evening, this has been the Colin Bell Show.